Good afternoon, Mark at the Wicked Edge Expert Corner group. We are setting up now to continue our sharpening polish job on this Zwilling Prep Knife. We're sharpening at 14 degrees, which is probably too acute. It's reading 14.02, 14.01. So we have no adjustment necessary with this stone. And then we got to get our stone stop set. I want to point out to you that I can feel the guide rod as I'm working with the stone stop. I can feel that the guide rod rotates in the socket. Maybe in the whole time that I was sharpening the knife, it may be a quarter of a turn with all the stone. So my point is that the guide rods may rotate in the sockets. It's not a big deal. Doesn't make a difference. Doesn't hurt anything. Just every once in a while, check them. Spin it tight, as finger tight as you choose to. And this one is 13.9. I had it and went past it. $14.01. Okay, and then the stop down, top stop is set. 1500, I put my, and then the next last thing is to come over here and we want to change the, where it says 1000D for 1000 diamond. Now we want it to say 1, 5, 1500D, because we're working now. Apply, and it stays on the screen. If it gives you a warning box, then you entered something wrong. But we set everything up the hierarchy ahead of time to let us just change the file extension and go from folder to folder to folder. Takes a little bit more time at the beginning, but it helps here. I want to show you something also, if I can, show you how the bevel is really shiny. I can see it on the back side. Okay, I'm going to start on this side this time. Again, the same thing. You can feel the 1500 is markedly smoother and quieter than the 1000 grit. And here's the scratches that we're refining. At the same time that we're refining the previous scratches, we're imparting 1500 grit scratches in line with the guide rod as I scrub up and down and work back and forth. And that's the first run. And let's take a look-see. And it's getting finer and finer and finer. And essentially, you can see how this is graying out. It's getting smoother and smoother and smoother. You can see some little wisps of old scratches, but for the most part, it's just what you'd want it to look like. It's beautiful. Here you can see some of the wispy scratches, but the edge is very, very refined. And let's look at the tip real quick. The tip looks nice, and it is scratched out to the edge. There we go, got some pictures, and we're going to come back here and intentionally take a moment to get the edge. Now we're going to come over here to the other side. Repetitive, over and over and over, repetitive, and attention to detail. And I'm watching, my head is cocked to the left as I'm looking at that stone slide up and down across the knife edge. I've said before, just like the videos where you see the Tormac running with the knife, we're doing the same thing, only the stone is moving and not rolling. The stone is moving by hand power. It's a very personalized method of sharpening. That really looks good. You can see how smooth it is getting. The 1500 is a markedly finer as it gets more and more refined, each and each grip. Now I'm looking at the bevel here. I can see the difference in the scratch pattern, so we can look at that, but that's just, there's that little teeny dent on the tip. Okay, looks pretty good for the scrubbing. Now we're going to do the alternate side edge leading strokes, and I'm going to start with the tip and work back. And again, I'm full flat purchase. I'm getting that feel right. The first couple of strokes, you have to get your feeling right, because I'm telling you, there's a tendency with these fine grit stones, when your edge is refined, that it will bounce. So it's up to us to make full flat contact, because when you go like this, the stone's wanting to bounce, because it is that refined. Okay, let's look at this. Getting more and more, you can see now that you're almost matted out. Edge is nice. That's coming. That little tip is coming. I am taking the time now to snap pictures just because, like I said before, I get busy sharpening and inspecting, and I forget to save the picture for the future. Here, that black ball, that's from sharpening. And now we got rid of it. And it takes some balancing, as you see, when you're working with the scope on the tip or the heel. It's like you're only just on the very tip of it. When you're working in the middle, you have more to rest the scope on, so it's easier to get a picture that looks like something. You can see that the scope here is half up and half down, but the picture is very focused. When I come out here, I'm hanging off of the edge, so it takes a little more balancing to see what I'm doing and get a picture snapped. Okay, so 1500, it looks pretty good. I'm going to do another quick up and down, but it is getting more refined and more refined. As sharpening goes, I would say that this is a very easy knife to sharpen because the steel responds very easily to the stones. There's not anything that's difficult about it. The steel is soft enough that it's not any real effort. As you can see here, the scratches are really fine now. And we're ready to go to the 2200. So we're going to just flop them around. Doesn't matter the order. I'm going to come up here and do this first this time, and I'm out here. It says 1500D. And now we're going to change it to 2200. Apply and ready to shoot. So we did that first. Now we're going to check the angles real quick. Again, I will repeat, the checking of the angle is a choice that I make. 13.99, 14.01. This stone is an original Wicked Edge stone. It is obviously of tighter tolerance than my stone on the red and white handle that I made myself by removing the old diamond stone from the old black handles and putting it on the new red and white. When I mounted it, I can see that one stone to the other is off just a little bit. Now, for the same measure, this 2200 stone is reading 14 1/4 on this side, 14.20 on this side, whereas it reads dead on 14 degrees on the other side. So sometimes they're dead on, sometimes they're off a little bit. Because of that, that's why I choose to take a moment and set it. $13.98. We'll call that good. And this one we did stops or sets. So we did that first, so we're ready to go with the 2200. Quiet, smooth. It's almost, for an abrasive, it almost feels smooth on this steel. I don't know if you can see the black dust that I'm rolling over the edge. It's like no grinding sound at all. The bumping you hear is the stone stop with the safety shield. Very slick. I'm polishing out in line with the scratches. And now I'm off the tip. We're going to give this a quick wipe and inspect it. And it's getting finer and finer and finer. Looks good. I did all this scoping and I never snapped the picture till then. Okay, that's the first side. Let's come over here and do the other side. In the center, got to put the stone stop down. Very repetitive, very methodical, very detail oriented. Each and every step, and you can hear how smooth it is. That clicking you hear is the safety shield hitting the stone stop. When I move it off, it doesn't click anymore. Okay. Really polishing out nice. Very nice. Looks like I need to work on the tip some more. I got better here because you can see that the scratches are complete, and when we came back here, I can see this dark spot, which means that, to me, it means that I wasn't flat. So I'm gonna come here and try and do this more carefully. Wipe it and take a look to see if now it's more complete. All the way, you can see the scratches go all the way. There's not that dead, hollow spot. This looks good. Ready to start the alternating side. And I'm smacking the back of the camera on that button. As I snap pictures. Okay, so that is halfway through. Now we're ready to okay, I walked the tip up and back, and now I'm coming back. And again, it's the same thing. It's very smooth. So I'm keeping full flat contact because there's a tendency to bounce because it is so smooth. And it is a light, thin knife. So it doesn't take a lot of a slap against the knife to bounce because it is such a light knife. A heavy knife would be more solid feeling under the stones. And it's matting right out. You can see how the scratches are very, very fine, the whole thing. Let's come to the heel. Looks very nice. Very nice. That boo-boo on the tip is gone now. Just by doing what you do. Instead of getting nervous and moving steel at the beginning, just keep working at it. If it's not any real terrible damage, it usually works its way out. Or sharpens up and polishes refined enough that it's not going to matter. This looks good. We're ready to go on to the $3,000. Let's do a quick head sharp. Okay, so I'm going to stop this here and swap out the stones. I'm going to cover this up. Let's not stop. Let's just go with this. We're at 2200 now. We're going to go to the 3000, which is paired with a glass plate for wrapping films. You can get the stones in a combination that goes 1500 with the glass plate And that's where it used to end up. The 1500 was the finest diamond stone. And then at a later date, Wicked Edge added the 2200 and the 3000 stone. So they kept making the 1500 in the glass, and now they make it in other combinations too, depending if you want to have all your diamonds together with your glass at the end of your regimen, or maybe you've been using them for a while and you got your 1500 with the glass when that was the finest stone, and then at a later date you added the other ones. So it's hard to say. This one now has a glass plate on here, not the diamond on it. So the stone I'm holding, and it's reading 13.97. So I'm gonna call that quits. Set my stone stop. I prefer to work with the magnet holding the stone. .8. I don't like having to adjust it, holding it like this. It's not as easy as using a magnet, as using the cube on the magnet. I'm going to try double checking it when I finish by going this way. Okay, I set it on the back side, and let me go and double check it. $13.96. I'll call that good. Okay, 3000 grit. We're going to start with the scrubbing. One last $2,200. Now it says 3000, and we get it right because the scope is at the right place. And we're ready to scrub. Quieter, smoother still. You can barely feel the grittiness on the 3000 stone, but I can see the black fuzz on the right side here of the apex as that fuzz rolls over. I just did one thorough scrub down. Let's see what it looks like. finer and finer and finer. So this is the final refinement. I'm going to do a little more, but the 3000 is matted out. It is fine. You can see some sideways, this stuff here, that's from, believe it or not, that's from wiping with the towel. And this looks matted out, looks beautiful. Okay, that's one side. Now we're going to go and do the other side. The same thing, and like I said, it's so smooth that I'm holding this hand on the back side, so I'm putting this here to feel that I keep it flat, because I'm sliding up and down fast the full length of the stone, and there's a tendency, because there's such little contact between the abrasive and the slick bevel, that it wants to bounce. So I went a little bit more on this side than the other side. Halfway up again, but I think it's okay. But it really polished it out. You can see how it becomes matte finish when you really now this sweet looking stuff is from the towel. And here's the tip, looks good. Looks beautiful. We're ready to start the alternate side. And this is the last grit. And we're going to do a 4 micron stropping emulsion, diamond 4 micron diamond emulsion on cow leather, followed by 2 micron. And there is no real correlation between my choice to strop and this 3000 grit stone. If I was finishing with 1500 grit, I would still do a 4-2, because that's just what I choose to work with. A 5 3.5 on the paste strops is pretty much comparable to the 4-2. The same sort of two-step. Very nice. It's got a lot of I will wipe this real carefully. I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to get rid of this black shop towel and go to a cleaner one. Actually, I'm going to use this one because we're going to use alcohol on it to remove all the steel dust and the marker that I put on it at the onset. So I'm going to save this towel for the cleanup, and then I'm going to go to a cleaner towel for the stropping so we don't scratch it when we strop it. So now you can see how I took my time and I wiped it carefully. See all those little things, now you can see how it's all like perfect, because the last one I did real carefully. The little bit of dust on here can scratch the side of your knife. Not deep scratches, but enough that you can notice it. Okay, so that's with the 3000, and now we're ready to wipe it, and we're going to strop. So I'm going to use the 91% alcohol. Okay. Now we're going to, before I forget, come over here. And now, I didn't do that right. Come over to here, and where it says 3000, we're going to get rid of that. Let me see, delete, 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 backspace, and now we're going to say 4, capital S, small t for 4 strop. And then come back over here and say apply, and it worked. So we're ready to swap out diamond stones. Cover that up so I don't hurt myself. And then we have the 4-2. I'm going to swap them left for right just because. Every once in a while I mix them, flip them in for in, and so that it's not always using it the same way. We got that set. Now these I'm not, because I'm stropping for myself, I am not going to reduce the stropping angle. First of all, 14 degrees may be as acute as I can go. I may not be able to go to 12 degrees to strop because it's just finer than the setup allows. And I'm not going to check the angle because the angle was set at 14 degrees. I know from experience that this pair is close to the other pair, so it's not necessary. So we have both strops. I'm not spraying any alcohol. I used alcohol to clean, and we're just up and off. The upper strops are gone, and I'm just up and off and coming behind, overlapping. And I'm keeping it quiet. I don't want to hear any skipping. Skipping means that I'm dragging one part of the strop over the edge at the end of the stroke, whereas I don't want to be dragging. I want it to be full flat contact the whole way, not skipping at the end. Okay, I'm going to grab a clean part of the towel and wipe up again. And let's check this out. This is the 4. And we can see how black the apex is. How it's has nothing there reflecting. To speak of, no balls of a burr. Looks good. Come on this backside. This photographing is a choice I choose to make to have a record for the future, so I can have that visual comparison. Hopefully in time I'll be able to make sense of what something looks like and how sharp it is. To make changes, to make educational decisions about my sharpening, comparing what I do to what it looks like to how sharp it is. If I can change what it looks like and change how sharp it is, then I have a handle on the sharpening. So that's why I record the visuals of the edge to correlate what it looks like with how it feels. Okay, we did the 4s, we took pictures, we looked at that. We're going to carefully cover up these strops. I'm backing away to get away from that knife because that knife is extremely sharp. And going to the 2 strops. Then we'll come over to here. Come on, there we go. I think I got that right. Okay, so that's the 2. And we're ready to go. We wiped it and I don't know why I put those back on there. No stops with stropping. That was a bad one. Overlap and working forward. And now we're ready to give it a quick wipe. And it looks all lined up and pretty. It's getting less, more matted looking or mottled looking. Now you can see the light scratches. After you strop, you can see those light hairline, like that one right there. That's, see how that comes up? That's the type of stray scratches. You can see some white in there. But those are all cosmetic things that I'm looking at as someone who would be looking to go further on in your sharpening experience in the mirror edges. This is a very sharp edge, and it's on its way to being a mirrored edge if we would pursue it even further. That's the 4. I'm going to give it a quick check with that. I'm going to strop it again real fast. My right side strop is not as smooth as my left side strop. There's something sticking up. Now it's better. Okay. We're going to wipe this again and look at this again, and I want to talk about the strop results. You could see the black line at the shoulder. You can see that black line at the shoulder. That black line, here it's not as definite because it's more tapered, but that black line at the shoulder, just like we apex the edge, that bevel comes down and really makes an apex to the side of the knife. And when we sharpen it, we make that shoulder crisp. And then when we strop it, it goes black like that. Now when we offset our stropping angle more acute 2 degrees, we're concentrating our strop down here and not up here so as not to roll over the edge. I'm able to strop the whole edge and get the same effect that you get by going more acute 2 degrees because I keep my pressure flat. But you can see where the stropping is doing its job by that black line there. When you go 2 degrees more acute, that black line is more pronounced. Anyway, so we're going to call this quits. This is strop to 2 micron, a 2-step strop on this Zwilling knife. We're going to dismount it, clean it up, and then we're going to set up to do a best test. Thanks.